Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy YBP Gang, YBP Nation, YBP Boxing, YBP MMA. Coming at y'all with a cover athlete reveal video. It just got announced. I think earlier in the day, just getting down to recording. That the cover athletes for UFC 5 will indeed be Volkanovski. That was heavily rumored. If you saw the trailer, you saw, the tattoo kind of on the right side of his arm. That's one of the cover athletes, and alongside him will be Valentina Shevchenko, and then Israel Adesanya will be on the deluxe version. So that will be the second straight game that he will be on the cover of the game. Really big for him. Shout out to Adesanya. And then Volkanovski, I think a lot of people settled down to thinking that he deserved it, but weren't quite sure if he was going to get the spot just because he hasn't quite reached that superstardom level. I think at least in my opinion, I think Olivier is a bigger star. Islam's pretty big. I don't know. I'd say Olivier is for sure bigger than him. Olivier is like a really big star. All he's missing is just the belt. I think if he beat Islam the first time, he'd definitely be on the cover. He's just such a big name. I've heard I don't know why people think of him as I heard on a podcast someone was saying oh, he's a B-level star. No, he's upper echelon of stars in the UFC. It's Olivier, it's Izzy, it's I guess Masvidal when he was in the UFC. O'Malley's getting there. He's still he's pretty big. I don't want to do him that, but I just don't know. I don't know how big he is globally, but I know for sure Olivier is globally big. Everyone knows who he is. O'Malley's definitely big in the US. So O'Malley's there. I'm trying to see. Just Volk hasn't really reached that superstar on there, but he deserves to be there. Pound for pound number one. He's never been on the cover. I think John Jones. He's been on the cover. I think on UFC 1, the original UFC with John Jones and Gustafsson. They were both on the cover. And it seems like he could be nearing retirement. So yeah. I like that they went with Alexander Volkanovski. He's a good representation of the sport. He's a really nice guy. Pound for pound number one fighter. And he's a BMF out there. He's fighting everyone there is to fight. He's for the people. Adesanya getting it twice, I have no problem with that. He's a really good champion, really dominant champion. His whole arc, beating Pereira. The whole moment with Dricus du Plessis where he's like, "What's up, my nigga? What's up, my African brother?" You know what I'm saying? So that was that was a viral moment. He's always making viral moments. There was the moment after the Pereira fight. I hope for one moment in your life, you feel this ounce of happiness. He has just some iconic moments. The Costa moment. He's a really huge star in the UFC. So him being on the cover again for the deluxe version, it makes sense. I think he's gonna draw. He's A tier star in the UFC. The one that people were kind of having trouble with was the Valentina Shevchenko pick. And I hear it. She's, even though she is champion, or no, she wasn't champion, even though she's a pretty big star, because I actually looked on her IG. I don't know about the engagements, but she has a lot of followers. And you take that with what you will, because there was that UFC fighter who, I believe he lost to, who did he lose to? There was this fighter in the UFC not so long ago. He had a bunch of followers, 24 million or something, 10 million, undefeated, and he just lost at his debut, and no one knows who he is. So there's that too, followers only mean so much, but Valentina's a pretty big star. She looks good, dominant champion. But her last two fights, Santos, you could argue that she lost that fight, and then going into obviously the Grasso, she got the Grasso fight, she got subbed. We haven't even seen the conclusion of the rematch. What if she loses again? It's just not a good look for her to be on the cover and her to have lost. I'm thinking about it, and honestly, I think Weili Zhang might have been the way to go for that cover. Because she's just coming off just timing wise, it's just a little weird that Shevchenko got it. I think they're betting on the fact they're hoping that she can beat Grasso in this rematch, but if she doesn't, it's not gonna look good her being on the cover. I wouldn't even have hated if they had Nunes on the cover, Even though she's retired, she just retired, but it's really fresh in our minds, the Arena Aldana fight. She only retired just recently. I understand why they wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't have been fine with that. I think UFC 4, like the UFC games, like get installed like every 2-3 years. So, and yeah, that's another thing too. Like Shevchenko, not that Volk's gonna be around for much longer. So actually, I can't really make that argument, but maybe I don't know. Maybe they think Zhang's gonna lose to. I don't know. I mean, her next fight has to be Yan Xiaonan, and she's probably going to run through that. It's a good stylistic match for her. She can out-grapple Yan Xiaonan. And Tatiana Suarez, I mean, that's a really good fight, She's been... The only knock on her is the 2 Rose losses, but, look at where Zhang is and look at where Rose is right now. I mean, I have a video coming out on that coming up this week, but I think Rose is going to get... demolished by Manon Fiorot, honestly, moving up. I don't want to get into too much of that, but even though Rose has those 2 wins, and I don't agree with the rematch, so I thought Weili won that fight, but neither or. Weili Zhang is, way far, ahead of Rose is right now. Rose is, kind of on a downward slope, and Zhang's only rising with these performances. So... for me, it would have been, if you wanted if you really had to put a female counterpart on there, then I would go Weili Zhang. I don't hate the Valentina Shevchenko pick, but just looking at the options, because you can't put Juliana Pena. The bantamweight title is vacant, so you can't put Mackenzie Dern or Tracy Cortez. We just try to go for someone who looks good and has clout somewhat. So those are your 2 options. I would have gone with Zhang, but it is what it is. I don't have too much problems with the cover. Yeah, it'll get good sales. I think the Izzy edition will go crazy. Volk, good representation of the sport. If you're just now getting into the UFC, just watching this sport, I think Volk's a really good guy to watch. Really good knockout that he had against Jair. He's a really good. I don't want to compare to GSP, but in the way that he is so well-rounded, he's very well-spoken. He doesn't trash talk all that much. He's a very respectable guy. If there was a poster boy for the sport, a guy you'd want to go shake hands with, the president, or go represent the UFC on the biggest stage and talk about the sport, Volk would be your guy. So good pick all around. The only pick I really have problems with is Shevchenko, but other than that, man, good picks by the UFC, EA Sports, all that type of stuff. I'm really excited for the game. October 27th, I believe it comes out. And yeah, if you would like on the video, subscribe. Peace out, Mo Squire. You know what it is.